Let's jump into that first story from Just the News. Capitol breach. 7 individuals, some tied to comedian Colbert, caught unapproved in complex. Let me see if I can pull up this Twitter. It looks like we're getting like a weird thing happening with the
we
display.
keep having to resize it.
Yeah, whatever. You can read it. So here we go. We got this Twitter thread from Chad Pergram, who says, Fox confirms that groups of persons associated with the Late Show, Stephen Colbert, were arrested last night and charged with illegal entry to House office buildings after hours. Fox is told that people were arrested in the Longworth House office building. The group was in the Cannon House office building earlier in the day trying to get interviews around the time of the 1-6 committee hearing. However, USCP shooed them away because they did not have proper press credentials. However, the group surfaced later in the night after the Capitol complex was closed to the public. Fox is told they took pictures and videos around the offices of House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and Lauren Boebert. Sounds like an insurrection, if you were to ask me. I mean, that's what the media was saying about, who was it? Who was that? Who was the? It was a congressman, right?
Loudermilk.
Yeah,
Barry Loudermilk.
Yep. They were saying he was leading a tour and helping people or giving them insider information. What is this? Why would they take pictures? They say they were unescorted and arrested in charge of the legal entry. They were arrested near Boebert's office, released overnight. They've confirmed all of their names, 9 people. Now, I can confirm several of these people do work for Stephen Colbert. Yep. Some of them, I believe, which is one of these guys, I don't know, is the voice of that comedian, that dog. That
Robert Smigel.
Is that who that is?
Yes.
What's the dog? Triumph?
Triumph.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, he actually goes on to say that. USCP have issued the following statement. On June 16, 2022, at approximately 8:30 p.m., U.S. Capitol Police received a call for a disturbance in the Longworth House office building. Responding officers observed 7 individuals unescorted without congressional ID in a 6th-floor hallway. The building was closed to visitors, and these individuals were determined to be part of a group that had been directed by the USCP to leave the building. I got to tell you, my friends, this is worse than January 6th.
How so?
You think I'm joking? I'm not joking. I mean that seriously. On January 6th, many of the people who entered the building walked up with no signs, with nothing, and had the doors opened for them by the police, who then went to take selfies with them. Mm-hmm. Those people, one guy so far, because there's been a few bench trials, one of these guys was acquitted because the judge said, cops opened the door and let him in. That's not trespassing. There was another guy who tried claiming the same thing, but he's on video climbing through a broken window and over broken glass. Sorry, that's not going to fly. You know you're trespassing. Yeah. These people were told to leave. They came back. And according to, I believe we have it was a tweet from Jonathan Turley and a statement made by, it wasn't from Jonathan. Turley tweeted what Jesse Waters reported, that it was Adam Schiff and maybe one of his staffers who let them in the building. So you have a member of Congress letting them in the building after they were told by the police not to be there. That's almost as bad as the rioters. Now, they weren't engaging in violence. The rioters on January 6th, obviously, arrest them and charge them as appropriate. But what they did is worse than what the MAGA Mimas did when they blindly walked in confused. So I'd like to see several FBI raids, maybe some misdemeanor charges that result in a year of solitary confinement. What say you, good sir?
Well, let me ask you this, Tim. What do you think if, let's say, those producers were reaching out to many members of the House trying to get in to the Capitol, via requests and stuff? Maybe Adam Schiff wasn't the first one. In fact, a source from the House sent me an email from Jake Plunkett sent on June 6th. Hi, reaching out on behalf of Robert Smigel and the Triumph, the Insult Dog. He'll be in D.C. on June 15th and the 16th covering the Jan 6 hearings. Wants to do some comedy bits with members of both sides of the aisle. If you haven't seen Triumph, he's the insult comic dog and with Conan, and recently had his own Hulu special. We've done bits with everyone from Barney Frank to Ted Cruz and Cory Booker. We're very much interested in doing comedy for both sides. That's an email that was sent on June 6th. Now, if Adam Schiff actually let these guys in, right, there's a process. I used to work in the House, in the Longworth building. I worked there. And in order for you to get access to the office buildings as press, you have to go through the admin and get the House admin and get press credentials. The reason you would go to a member to let you in is so that you're let in without having to declare that you're press, right? And so that's, and not only that,
can you bypass security?
Well, I have to be registered in by somebody from the office of the Congress member. So you're on record that you're in, but there are rules. If you're a visitor to one of these offices for a Congress member, you're not allowed to even roam the halls of the office building.
What about after hours when the building's closed?
Definitely not, because
So-
you need somebody, a staff member of the Congress member who let you in to be escorting you through the halls at all times.
So my question is, if you were let in after hours, would that bypass? Would you be able to bypass security?
Well, Adam Schiff has to answer. No, you can't. Somebody had to let him in through the doors,
Right.
but then they let him loose through the building.
What I mean is there a way to open doors for people that does not bring them through any kind of security?
Oh, no. You
Everyone
can't.
goes security.
Everybody goes through
That's
security.
what I wanted to make sure. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, did they open a side door?
No. And even after 7 p.m., there's only one door. It's called the 24-hour entrance at the Longworth building. There's only one door you can get in after 7 p.m.
So you're saying that he signed them in? He brought them through?
A staffer or himself had to have signed them in.
Wow. And they were on Jesse Waters. Apparently, they were like banging on doors and yelling, and that's how the cops were alerted to it. We need more reporting to come out because this story is just coming out now. Here's the crazy thing: this happened yesterday at 8:30 p.m.
What?
How are we just now finding out about it?
There's people in the chat room calling this insurrection, which I just wanted to note here. And you made a good point, Tim, especially on January 6th. There was doors that were extremely heavy, that were closed with magnets, that were only opened because of a code that was input directly by someone from the inside that knew the code, that was able to open the doors on January 6th. What happened here?
There's
we
video
don't-
of it.
Yeah.
There's video of the cops opening the door, and the cop even says, "Don't agree with it, but I respect it."
Yeah. So you know, what happened here? We don't know. Maybe they were trying to do another big Pfizer sang and dance routine, trying to promote more procedures. Who knows? We don't know. We do need more reporting to find out exactly what was going on here.
It would be funny if all of those people were dressed up like giant vaccinations.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
Remember when
Sneaking
Colbert-
around and running around.
I think you guys aren't taking this seriously enough. It sounds to me like Adam Schiff came dangerously close to overthrowing the United States government.
You're right. You're right. That we need hearings immediately.
Absolutely.
Adam Schiff let's be serious though. If it's true that he let them in, I mean, that's way worse than January 6th. Donald Trump said peacefully march to the Capitol and cheer on politicians, something like that.
Were there Republican elected officials who let people into the Capitol on January 6th?
No.
Yeah.
Did any sign
There we
them
go.
in?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This
Exactly.
is so. Look, the left will always try to conflate all of January 6th with just the riot on the one side of the building. I'm not talking about that. Those people who are fighting with cops and smashing stuff and hitting, those people will get charged.
Absolutely.
Arrest them, charge them.
Yes.
Make sure it's appropriate. You get what you get. I'm not a fan of what they're doing with the solitary confinement for a year or anything. That's egregious. But if you're rioting, you get arrested. But there's videos of people just walking up confused. There's no fences, there's no barricades. And then the cops literally open the door and they wave to people as they walk in with their flags. One cop stops, they take a selfie together and they're like, yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm. Apparently one guy claimed that the cops were actually like, yeah, come on in. There's actually video of cops fanning people like this. Now, the argument there was the Capitol Police said the cop was fanning the police, not the people. Well, you got a problem there. Mm-hmm. If there's regular people standing there confused and you're going like this and motioning forward and they're like, okay.
Yeah,
They think you're telling them to come in.
That's also
taking
a very
selfies
strange
with,
excuse.
Taking
Like,
selfies with insurrectionists is not really a good look.
Also, hold on. That seems like a ridiculous story. So if there were people who were just mobbing the compound, right, and we're calling security over, and those people are at the door, I'm not going like this to gesture security to come over to help us, right? That's not how that works. That's insane. That is such an insane argument. Like, no, I was just doing a general waving motion into the building because I wanted one specific person to stop everyone else from getting in the building.
Maybe he was
said
hot and just fanning
They were
himself.
telling the other officers to pull back.
So here's
Okay, well, maybe I could see that. But
here's a
still.
silly question. The January 6th event insurrection is probably going to be one of the most documented events in American history.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, it's been, a year and a half old?
Yeah.
Right? There's so much documentation on this that there are dissertations that will be written about people's dissertations, about people's opinions, about what they thought they saw, whatever. Has anybody, and I mean anybody that has the cogency to ask maybe somebody who knows anything about security regarding security protocols, security operations? I mean, it's not a complicated situation. The whole fanning thing is ridiculous.
We need to get to the bottom of the 529 insurrection.
529 insurrection.
529
In all
insurrection.
seriousness,
That's right, 529.
Yeah. Well, roughly
529.
2/3 of Americans want to look into the 2020 riots, according to polling data.
You mean
Less
the-
than
you mean
half
the-
want to look into January 6th. Less than half agree with the January 6th Commission.
You mean the 529 insurrection?
Yeah, that's right. The 529 insurrection.
Never forget.
Of course. Never forget. And I never will.
Are you familiar with
But-
529?
I live in Minneapolis. I'm familiar.
I heard it was mostly peaceful.
529 in Washington, D.C., when violent leftists tried tearing the fence down and set fire to one of the White House guard posts, set fire to St. John's Church, and forced the president to retreat to a bunker, attacked journalists, and the police had to come and defend the White House from this insurrection on 529. 529. Yeah. Yeah, 529.
I remember that
mentioned-
day.
You
That's right.
mentioned
Never forget.
that this is one of the most documented events, and it is curious, why aren't they releasing the security camera footage? Why not release all of the security camera footage?
From 529?
well,
No,
from
from-
January 6th
Oh.
was more documented, but yeah, both. No, they won't.
Or the federal involvement and you
Exactly.
know, release the information about how many agents
Yep.
were there and were participating, and also the foreknowledge with basic events that were on Facebook saying that this was going to happen, and then this was all something that
Well,
they
how come-
Maybe
how
what
come-
about, what about the supposed pipe bombs that were just near where Kamala Harris was that they
Exactly.
decided to stop investigating or stop talking about?
I have a real question. After January 6th, a bunch of leftists started doxing as many people as they could, posting their photos and faces. No one did that for 529. I mean that seriously. Like at the White House, you have all this video of people trying to break down the fence. They actually tore down the barricades. They actually set fire to one of the guard posts and a church. The right is not playing this game.
I was
I'll tell
going
you
to
that.
say, as an activist, I've seen this over and over again. We're just not willing to do what the left is willing to do to take us out, right?
I
Like
mean-
the Sedition Hunters page is what you're talking about, where they're going
Right.
out and doxing, people who were part of the insurrection or whatever. But we don't do that. Why not? And we have this. I think that the right has a problem of actually just participate where the space is available. Why don't we have our own version of SPLC or ADL that just goes and labels people communists or Marxists or woke bad actors?
Because the way I see it is like the quote unquote right is a disparate group of random factions that disagree with each other on so many different things.
Individualists.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily individualists. I mean, conservatives are more individualist, but they're more collectivist than say libertarians.
But to be contrarian here, is that going to be the right strategy? Because someone did something bad, should we do something bad too, and use the state and the government and the deep state to go after people politically? So I understand the paradigm. I'm just playing.
It's not bad to call out bad people, right? They're just duplicitous. There is right-wing media matters, sort of. I think it's unfair to say necessarily, but Newsbusters. Are you familiar with Newsbusters?
Yes.
So they watch all these cable channels and then call out the lies in the media. I respect that. Media Matters lies about people in the media.
Right.
So, but it's an inversion. It's I like what Newsbusters does. I don't like what Media Matters does. But at a core, they're both watching TV and then publishing their opinions on it.
Right.
So there is that counterpart.
My-
But you're
my
right
whole-
for the SPLC.
My whole thing is just match them at the front. I don't need you to win. Just match them, right? Because then it opens up other fronts in the war where we can actually overtake them.
Well, the
right. The
question
thing is
is
we get kicked in too much from too many angles.
But if you look at the SPLC, they lie, they slander. They've been sued successfully by individuals that they lied about.
They lied about me.
And they lied about me too.
was
They
amazing.
took a speech that I did, and they took one particular sentence that I said, and they matched it up with a sentence that I said later to make me sound like I was calling for a revolution when I was calling for an evolution and people being better themselves individually. So they're liars, they're cheaters. I don't think we should strive to become what they are. And I know where you're coming
We're not
from.
sort of saying.
No,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
one's saying that.
No. But what you were saying, I think, was kind of matched by that.
well, I think that first of all, nobody would call we call the SPLC liars, right? SPLC wouldn't say what they're doing is lying, and there's nobody that comes out a third party sort of
A court of law
unbiased-
did.
Oh, okay, so if a court of law did, fine, right? But who's
They
taking
admitted
that?
the story they wrote. There was with several individuals, including me. They retracted it, apologized, and corrected it.
And a bunch of my friends end up on that list too, right? But does everyone who gets put on that list have the resources to be able to challenge that, right? That's the problem.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.